Still breakfast central on News Central. Let's take you to some sporting news now. Big one out of the Emirates Stadium out there in London. Arsenal, yes, with Gabonese striker Pierre-Emerick Aubemeyang. It has been confirmed that he's been stripped as the Arsenal captain for his latest disciplinary breach in the club. Now, the Gabon striker, who was dropped for Saturday's 3-0 victory in the Premier League over Southampton, will not be considered for tonight's match against West Ham. So that captain's armband will be no more for Pierre-Emerick Aubemeyang. He's 32 and was also dropped for the same disciplinary issues earlier in March this year. And it looks like the manager of the club, Mikel Arteta, is having none of it. He had a press conference yesterday saying in the club they were, in quotes, non-negotiables. Now, Aubameyang, who took over as captain in November 2019 after midfielder Granit Xhaka was stripped of captaincy, clearly has lost it this time. He signed for joining Arsenal back in 2018 for a whopping sum of £56 million and also had an extended contract after signing again to stay with the club. But this season, he's only scored 4 goals in 14 Premier League matches and none since October 22nd. So a big blow for the Arsenal's side, a big blow for the manager, also a big blow from an African perspective. This was an Arsenal captain by an African. We've had many Africans play at Arsenal, but Aubameyang was captain, but no more. Who will captain Arsenal tonight? We'll just have to find out when they play against West Ham. Many suspect it will be Alexander Lacazette, the Frenchman, but they'll need a permanent captain. But it does mean that in the last 2 years, Arsenal have changed their captains twice, and all for one issue or the other. So clearly, leadership crisis at the club. Well, away from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but still sticking with Premier League, we saw Manchester City yesterday. They are at it against City. Now they thrashed Leeds United by 7 goals to nothing. 7-0 for Pep Guardiola's side. There were goals from clearly so many players on the pitch. That man, Phil Foden, scoring the first goal after taking a deflection. He's informed Phil Foden, the English youngster, still scoring goals for Manchester City, who are still top, though, with 4 points. And yes, the expensive man, £100 million at City. Jack Grealish scored a cross from Riyad Mahrez to make it 2 goals to nothing. And it went on and on and on for Manchester City. But how about that from a strike from the immaculate Kevin De Bruyne, who scored twice in that game, really extending the lead for Manchester City. Also, the likes of Riyad Mahrez also getting a goal in that match. It just means that you had another defeat for Marcelo Bielsa coming from Pep Guardiola. Well, we also saw another match last night. Aston Villa, led by Steven Gerrard, the manager who used to play for Liverpool. Well, Aston Villa had a victory over Norwich by 2 goals to nothing yesterday. The likes of Ollie Watkins also scoring in that match for Aston Villa. It does mean that Steven Gerrard has enjoyed more wins and few defeats since taking over the club. But let's look at the results, shall we? As we saw them in the Premier League yesterday, 2 matches. Villa beating Norwich away from home, bad defeat for Dean Smith, and City 7-0 thrashing Leeds United. Well, today we'll get to see football matches, that's for sure. Brighton against Wolverhampton Wanderers, Watford away to Burnley, Crystal Palace against Southampton, and the Arsenal. Are we going to see Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the stands? That's the big question, but he might not be playing tonight when they take on West Ham United at the Emirates Stadium. But there will be much to catch later in the world of sports.